Hello, and welcome to day 3 of the Authenticity Challenge, the 30-day Authenticity Challenge. My name is Dami Oshodi, and I have a passion for creating programs, content, and resources that really transform the minds of people and allow them to step into the life that they were actually called to live. So if you're new to the challenge and if you haven't been able to watch the day 1 and day 2 videos, definitely go check those out. But happy to be able to speak with you today and discuss this second pillar of luxury. So as I had discussed earlier, I'm going to be speaking about 3 pillars of luxury. The first being identity, which we spoke about yesterday. And then the second, which we're going to speak about today, is intentionality. So why I'm even doing this challenge, it's to help talk about the content that I will be sharing on my new podcast called Luxury State of Mind, which we'll be releasing in the first quarter. So I'll keep you guys updated with more information on that. But I want to give you a taste of the different type of topics that I would be speaking about. And again, this is just snippets. On the podcast, I can go more in depth and talk a bit more. But I just want to introduce you to the types of concepts that I'd be talking about. And as you can tell by the name of the podcast, A Luxury State of Mind, we are going to be talking about luxury, but it's going to be from a perspective that you may have not heard before. So I just want to show you in a way how to live a luxurious lifestyle, or not in a way, really show you how to live a luxurious lifestyle where you are and that you can enter into luxury literally today. You ain't gotta have all the money to do it. You don't have to be in a certain space, a certain job. You can enter into luxury and a luxury lifestyle where you are today. And that's what I'm going to be teaching you about throughout this 30-day challenge. All right, so as I had mentioned, this is the second pillar, and we're going to be discussing intentionality. So, in order to be luxurious from a luxury state of mind perspective, intentionality is imperative. So, I actually looked up the dictionary definition of intentionality. And it says the fact of being deliberate or purposeful. So when we think about intentionality, there's 2 things there. We have to be purposeful in what we're doing, why we're doing it. We have to know why we're doing something, and then also be deliberate. And some words attached with deliberate is consciously, fully considered, and steady. So in order to live your luxurious life and the life that you've dreamed, but is really centered and attached to your true identity, you have to be intentional about how you're living. So it looks like this. Luxury comes with work. And I know that, there's a lot of content out there currently about, just receiving things and you just need to receive, which is true. We do deserve. I think I would like to speak more from a place of you deserve these things. You deserve the things that you aspire for, or your heart desires, or even if you haven't seen them with, family or friends, they live a certain way, but you desire something else, a new way of living. For a fact, you should be able to receive that. However, in the context of luxury state of mind, or with the context of luxury state of mind, it does require putting in effort in order to receive that lifestyle that you're looking for. So part of that work is first starting in the mind. So when I talked about identity, we'll start there. It's all about the mind first. It's creating a vision and then believing your vision and your desire is possible because of your unique makeup and who you belong to. So your unique makeup, we talked about yesterday, your personality. There are unique things that are specific to you because you are a unique person. You are absolutely invaluable. There's nobody like you. There's nobody that will be like you once you leave this earth. The way you are and the way you've been made for a purpose. You've been made for a calling. You have something specific that the world needs to see and to experience. And then also who you belong to. So you belong to the Lord. You belong to a God who cares about you, that's called you to a purpose, that's called you for greater things in life. And he shows you, especially if you read the Bible, he tells us this is your identity. This is what or who you are. You know, you may think in your mind, oh, I'm a scared person. I live in fear, but in reality, the Bible says that God didn't give you a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. So if you take on an identity that he never assigned to you, that's not your identity. So that's the first part. We need to get aligned in our mind first. And this is a continuous work. This is maybe not something you arrive to today. I've arrived, you know, um, especially depending on your life, depending on your past experiences, all these different things. But that's the first part. It starts in the mind. You have to believe that what it is, that like that thing in your heart that just is like, man, like this is me. This is what I want. Gotta believe that that's possible and continue to work to make that a reality. And then how do you work to make that a reality? Part of that work is creating practical steps and boundaries that protect that vision. So putting systems in place, putting plans in place that protect that vision, that protect that dream, that protect that calling, and that give you a bit of structure. So when we think about freedom, because when we think about luxury, like, you know, comfort, ease, opulence, big things, it almost feels like there's no rules. Spend how much money you want, go wherever you want, eat as much as you want, do whatever you want to do. Absolutely no rules. That's what it appears like. But in reality, like when you think about it, and I love this example, I've heard it multiple times, and maybe you've heard this too, of like traffic, like having traffic lights. Like we need traffic lights because if we were to just drive, you know, like as fast as we want or as slow as we want, and everybody was just able to go at any pace that they want, the roads would really be a mess. We need, in order to live in freedom, we do need guidelines. We do need rules. We need convictions, and we need the ability to govern ourselves, govern our actions, govern our minds. And how do you do that? How do you govern yourself and govern, you know, and protect that vision that is so uniquely yours and was made for you? You have to create systems. You have to create a plan. You have to guard yourself in order to live it out. So, what practically could that look like? I mean, for one, it could look like planning ahead. And if you're like me, you know, if you're like into planners, I mean, I've done it all. Planners, Trello, Notion, calendars, big calendars, notebooks. I've tried it all, and I'll probably discuss this at another time, my process or how I've planned in the past and kind of what I'm doing now and still improving and learning to improve. But for some of you, it looks like planning ahead, making sure you know that, okay, this is what I want to achieve. Or, you know, I maybe this is an area or somewhere that people want to go, but I kind of already know every time I go there, it just doesn't feed me. So how can I plan ahead to be able to tell my friends or tell the people around me that I can't go? So planning your responses ahead, that could be a very practical way. Another way is accountability. You share your goals, you share your vision with trusted friends and trusted family, and they hold you accountable to the things that you are wanting to achieve or desire. So, accountability can look like intentionality. And then another thing, sometimes intentionality is not always about working and doing and this and writing. Depending on your situation, sometimes you may need to just rest more. Maybe resting is your way of being intentional. Maybe you're always on the go, maybe even feeling like you have to get your worth from moving all the time, doing all the time, but you realizing that maybe that's not where you want to go, and you want to learn how to rest more. So these are just practical ways that you, or like guardrails or governance or convictions that you can use to help keep yourself steady and move towards the luxury that you are trying to live out. So you build those systems in place. And one thing I want to mention with this and being intentional is the systems that you're building have to be sustainable. Everybody has a word, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have a word. What's your word for the year? What are you trying to achieve? And last year, my particular word was sustainability. I had so many things that I wanted to achieve. And I'm the type of person, or I was the type of person that just gun ho, or, I am still that type of person, like, just, like, I want to do this. I'll put the plans in place quickly and I'll just run. And I'm running, running, running. But before 2023, I realized that the things that I was doing for myself were not sustainable. And you feel like, oh goodness, like I said I wanted to do this, and I was on fire to do something and to achieve this thing, but then you find yourself burnt out and then you stop. And sometimes it's because the way that you've planned how to achieve it is actually not sustainable for where you're at right now. It's not fluid. It doesn't fit into the time constraints that you have. Like, you're trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. You're trying to do things and shove it into a time that just doesn't make sense. All in the name of I have to do it. So it also looks like sustainability, and we're going to talk about that. That's something, when we talk about exercise, I'm going to talk more in depth about this. And again, on the podcast, teaching you how to be intentional, but doing it in a sustainable way that you can play the long game. Last year, my biggest thing was I wanted to play the long game. I kept that in mind, especially in the beginning of the year. But because it became a foundation of my thinking, it lasted me through the end of the year. So those are great components when it comes to being intentional. First, again, it starts in the mind. It starts in your identity. When we talk about luxury, starts with who you are, your uniqueness, and then also who you belong to. Then that leads to, when you get a clearer vision and continuously get clear on that, you learn how to be intentional to protect that vision, to walk into that vision. Because sometimes, and not even sometimes, a lot of the things that we are, desiring and wanting, they've already been set out for us, but it's just a matter of walking into them, taking the active steps. And sometimes you just need the how on how to do it. But again, not always because somebody tells you this is how you do it. It really does start within you. It really does start in living this life that you feel empowered. You're able to make decisions, and move in a way that is aligned with you. It starts within you, and from there, you can be able to put those steps in place, those guardrails in place, so you can achieve what it is that you are aspiring to achieve. So I hope that this was helpful for you. In the comments, let me know of some ways you are intentional, or what areas, actually, let me know what areas you would like to be more intentional in. What are you hoping to be more intentional about in 2024? And do you have any plans in place of how you are going to do that? So again, I would love to speak with you in the comments. And you can also send me a message as well. Yeah, I would just love to hear from you. And again, I will be sharing more about the podcast over time, and sharing more information so we can get connected. So thank you so much for tuning in to day 3 of the Authenticity Challenge. And I will speak to you tomorrow, where we're going to speak about the third pillar, third pillar, which is freedom of choice. And then that one's a good one. Okay. And then after we speak about that, we're going to get into the different intricate areas of how you can make your life luxurious. I'm telling you, you do not have to wait till you have a lot of money. You don't have to wait until you're in a certain society or a certain community. You can live out luxury today, and it all starts in the mind. All right. So I will speak to you tomorrow. Thank you so much and see you again.